Hello and welcome to the world of NDE 4.0. My name is Johannes Rana and today is a great day because today we are finally getting to one of the most important topics for all those fourth revolutions, for the cornerstone of all those fourth revolutions, and that is data transparency. Data transparency for data formats and also for interfaces, both human-computer and machine-to-machine interface. Now you might ask yourself, why do we need data transparency? So let's get to a couple of examples. And the first one is going a lot of years back. Imagine the first radio stations. And to have a radio station, you need kind of a transmitter, and that transmitter needs some kind of a modulation technique so that you can listen to that signal. Now, you have the radio station, you have some receiver, a radio at home, just working for that radio station, and then you can listen to the music. Now a second radio station comes around, and actually they use a different modulation technique, a different proprietary modulation technique. And what happens? You need a second radio. And if now a third and fourth comes around, you would need 3 or 4 different radios to actually listen to all of those radio stations. Now, luckily, that didn't happen. Luckily, they didn't use proprietary data formats, but they used modulation techniques which actually follow the rules of data transparency. Open modulation techniques like AM or FM. So that at home, you just need one radio and you can just dial in the radio station you want to listen to. Another example, perhaps a little bit more modern. Imagine a digital audio player or an ebook reader. And imagine the situation that there is actually about just one good one. But to use that good one, you actually have to use the proprietary music or ebook format that manufacturer is giving you. So that you have to buy all your music and all your ebooks through that one manufacturer. And now perhaps the fourth revolution comes around and they're going to a cloud. They're going away from that one device, which was the original reason you actually bought that device and bought all the music. Now they're going to a cloud. Now you can use all of those purchased music from online, but that manufacturer is intelligent because he wants to earn money. What he does, he just allows you to use that cloud from his own devices. So again, you are buying a device from this manufacturer. Now this also gives that manufacturer a pretty big advantage because he gets all the statistics of what music you listen to, what music you don't listen to, how many minutes you are listening it, and he can perhaps start producing exactly the music he knows that you will like or that most of the people will like, so that he can even make a better profit. But finally, at some future, that manufacturer either goes bankrupt or decides to discontinue this environment he built up. And what happens? Now you have all of this music in a proprietary format, and you cannot listen to your music anymore, or you cannot read your books anymore. And this is exactly why we need data transparency. Now coming a little bit to NDE. If you think about the NDE format, the NDE market or the NDT market, every instrument has its own data format, its own proprietary data format. It has its own proprietary interfaces, its own proprietary cloud solutions. And all of this disables NDE 4.0. Because with the fourth revolution, what we need is to use the data correlation and to evaluate all of that data to improve processes, production, design, and products. But how can we actually use all of that data if all of that data is in a proprietary format or store it in a proprietary company manufacturer-owned cloud? You cannot get to it. We need unhindered data exchange between the machines. And we have to move away from all those proprietary things. Now, if we get to that point, that we get to data transparency, this will allow, for example, to reuse the data, to perform some trend analysis, to use it for an augmented reality solution from a different manufacturer, which is perhaps better than the original augmented some other manufacturer produces. You can also use some artificial intelligence, not this black box artificial intelligence which comes perhaps with your system, but one where you really know, okay, this one is a good solution and it will work. And for all that, data transparency is the cornerstone. We cannot get to it without it. We need it for Industry 4.0, we need it for the Industrial Internet of Things, we need it for digital transformation, and we need it both for data formats and for interfaces. So how do we get to that point? Now, number one, we need standardized, open, and well-documented data formats and interfaces. Now, that's a long phrase. Now, let's take that in segments. So, we need open data formats and interfaces so that everybody can implement it into his own equipment, into his own software, into his own assets. So, like with the radio, everybody can kind of produce a sender and a receiver. And they have this open interface, a certain open modulation technique for its radio. Then we need to standardize those open interfaces, because still, if we have open interfaces and everybody is using a different one, that also doesn't help. And number three, it needs to be well documented so that it allows everybody actually to do the implementation. Number two, we need data formats and interfaces with a semantic interoperability based on standardized information models. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did already a video on semantic interoperability, and I will put a link to that video right here. Now, in short terms, what semantic interoperability means, it means that a computer who receives data actually can understand that data without having me to implement a certain source code for it to understand it. It's an automatic process for the computer to understand this. This enables machine readability. Now, to create something like that, you have to create a document or a description file, how you are gonna store which information in which format, and how the information is connected to kind of some other information. Now, those semantic interoperability models, they have to be, or they can be defined in they are defined in information models. Now, they also need to be standardized, because otherwise you are back to place number one, because you have to implement it then for everybody in a different format. And we need this both for data formats, for interfaces, and best also for databases and for cloud solutions and whatever. This is number two. We need those open data formats. We need the semantic interoperability, and we need a sufficient security, because if I send you the data, I want that this data transfer is safe. I want it to be protected from destructive forces and from unwanted actions of unauthorized users. If you want to know more about data security, you will find a video to that topic right here. Now, sending the data in a secure way, that's only step number one. Now, this means that I have transferred data from A to B in a secure way without anybody else can listen to it. But nothing prevents actually the receiver to give that data to somebody else. And that's where data sovereignty comes in. So that I do not only send actually the data, but also, some usage rights to the receiver. So that the receiver, once he gets the data, knows what he can do with it. And best is not the human to know what it is, but the computer to know what it can do with the data. And if those usage rights say, you can look at that data just once, and the user looked at the data once, the system will automatically delete the data and make sure that it is only viewed once. And those 4 key points we have to get to data transparency. We have to have those open data formats. We have to have the semantic interoperability. We have to have data security and data sovereignty. Now, because we think that this topic is so important, the German Society for Non-Destructive Testing has created a Memorandum of Understanding for data transparency. And we already collected about 20 signatures from industry leaders. Now, if you also want to sign this Memorandum of Understanding, just send me a message and I will send it to you, and we will add your name to the persons signing this Memorandum of Understanding. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sending me all your letters that you want to sign the Memorandum of Understanding, because in my eyes, this is really important for our whole industry. Without that, we will not get to NDE 4.0. Without that, somebody else will build a standard for our industry, and most of us will go out of business. And it will just be them dictating what we do. And that's nothing we want to have. We want to have still our market with all our small companies, but we have to work together to make that happen. That's why we need data transparency. Now, if you have any comments, also critical ones, if you have any questions, please write them down here in the comment section. And next time we will get to what actually data transparency enables, the industrial Internet of Things. As usual, you will find more information in the description. I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe to this channel. I hope you give me a thumbs up. I hope I will see you soon. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Thank you and bye.